Greetings and salutations, and this is TechRedon here, back with more Resident Evil 2 Remake, the redo in the Leon B scenario. And, well, for one, I'm kind of over-exaggerating the hyperness I'm feeling right now, but I've had coffee this morning. I kind of had to. Like, normally I don't need coffee. Normally I wake up and I got all the energy I need and for the day and all that. But for the past day or two, for some reason, I have been out of it. Like, I've been tired as fuck. So this morning I had to have coffee. And oh boy, is it making me hyper. So you're gonna have to bear with me here. Like, right now I'm kind of like a little tame. But if I get a little, like, hyper in the video, a little annoying, I apologize ahead of time. If it ends up being entertaining, then I should drink coffee more. Basically what that says. But anyway, I guess I started the game at the STARS office, yeah, because this is what triggers Mr. X. So I literally did every other objective I could get done before I needed to go here. So yeah, he's gonna give it to us. X gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you. But first you gotta rock, then you gotta roll, then you gotta drop, then you gotta let it go. I don't even know if that's the right lyrics. That's just what I've always heard when I hear the song. But oh well. First you gotta rock, then you gotta roll, then you gotta drop, now let it go. Like, you know, like those lyrics. It's a good song. R.I.P. DMX. I know, like, I'm a year or two too late, but still R.I.P. to DMX. He wasn't one of my favorite rappers, but he was definitely, like, he was definitely up there in terms of, like, skill. He was one of the best rappers out there. Even if he wasn't, like, one of my personal favorites. I still liked some of his music. I still respect what he did. All that stuff. He's kind of like Juice WRLD. Like, I like some of their songs, but... And I respect their skill, and I think they're really good, but... They just aren't one of my favorites, you know? Simple as is. I don't know if I've ever said it before, but my favorite rappers are actually T-Pain, Kendrick Lamar, Recognized from Mayday, Chris Rivers, Samad Savage. Dude, Samad Savage goes off, I swear. Talk about a good night. Like man, don't even play. Samad Savage is up there, man. Like, he's up there. Okay, we can now close that. I'm doing that for a reason, because when I need it later, we're gonna need it closed like that. But we're not gonna need it for a long while. I think there might be 3 videos between now and when I need it, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It could be like 2 videos, but who knows? Either way, we got at least an hour of gameplay before we're gonna need that again at a minimum. So don't worry. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you don't know what I'm doing, I'm basically playing Is Mr. X by the Door. Coming soon on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. I'm kidding. No, but basically, I'm trying to make sure he ain't in this little corner right here. Because if he ain't in this corner, I can tell where I could go without going into him. Now, a lot of times, this is the route he doesn't go down. But this time, yeah, this time was different. Sir, I do not have the rent money yet. You're gonna have to bear with me, Mr. X. I know the rent's due. I know it been due. But you're gonna have to bear with me, because I don't got it yet, man. They ain't paying us well enough in the RPD. Like, you see how run down this place is? Like, please, if they gave us the funding we needed, this place would be up and running and everything. You've seen this shithole. Like, you've seen how low budget we are? Come on, man. We got blood all over the walls, fucking broken windows. Most of the police squad is fucking infected with no cure. Like, man, please, like, it really hard being a Raccoon City officer out here. Like, it really do be that way. I actually, like, I don't know who I feel more bad for in this game. Leon or Sherry. And I know you probably expect me to say Claire, but Claire willingly came out here looking for Chris. So, in her case, there's not really much sympathy going there, especially because she doesn't suffer as much as Leon or Sherry. But, like, Leon and Sherry really go through it in this game, man. Like, I don't know who I feel bad for. And you gotta keep in mind, I don't like children. I don't. If a character is under the age of 14, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna annoy me. Just because I hate children. And I have no issue admitting that. Because, yeah, kids annoy me, man. So when I say I have genuine sympathy for Sherry in this game, it means more than it would have for any adult or teenage character in any media. Honestly, I think I feel worse for Sherry because both her parents literally fucking die. Like, both her parents die. Her father, she literally sees her father become this, like, monstrous creature before he eventually dies. She gets basically kidnapped by Chief Irons for, like, an hour in this game. Like, I think she might have it rougher than Leon by a long shot, now that I think about it. Leon just has to basically arrive his first day on the job, realizing the place he's gonna work is run down with zombies everywhere. And then he gets betrayed by Ada. Like, that's literally the whole list. Like, now that I think about it, Leon ain't gone through shit. Like, Sherry literally is probably the most traumatized. Okay, no, there's Jill Valentine. Jill definitely been through it too, but Sherry is one of the most, and Chris. I can't forget Chris. But Sherry is one of the most traumatized RE characters. And they never took advantage of that. She literally returns in RE6 and they just play it up as, oh, well, she's an adult now. Now she's fighting bioterrorism out of nowhere. You know, no trauma at all, even though she went through all this shit. You know, I got many gripes with RE6, but I think one of the things I don't like about it is the missed opportunity with many of the characters it had. Like, the game literally has Sherry Birkin, Leon Kennedy, and Chris Redfield in it, and none of them are interesting. Like, it ain't even just the gameplay where RE6 sucks, the gameplay sucks because it's ironically so over-the-top explosive that it becomes boring. It's ironic how that works, but it's literally, that's how I felt when I played RE6, was like, there was so much over-the-top explosions and stuff that it eventually got boring because of them. Okay. But yeah, that's a missed opportunity. They never explored Sherry's trauma from this game. And I know the remake probably details her trauma a little better than the original. I don't really know the details of the original that well, because I never played it for myself. I just go off of what I've seen from Let's Plays of it. But, so, yeah. In the only time that I will ever attempt to give RE6 any type of defense, the original RE2 might not have had as much trauma for Sherry. It might not have. For all I know. And that's not even a full defense. That's just like, you know, if I'm right about that. By that guess. Then, yeah, I guess you can give a break there. But I still think it's a missed opportunity. We literally, something I do like about these remakes, as short and disappointing as the RE3 remake does, it and RE4 remake gets something really well done that I kind of, these are kind of reasons I want a Code Veronica remake and kind of want an RE1 remake as well, because the trauma they show Jill and Leon having is kind of like interesting as fuck, man. And like, we saw the source of Leon's trauma, and Leon's trauma isn't nearly as bad as Jill's, obviously. Like, you only really get to see him being like, him like looking back with like at what happened in Raccoon City with a negative view. Okay, give us this. But yeah, I won't lie, out of the 4 original like RE protagonists, you know, Leon, Claire, Chris, and Jill and Leon are really the characters they should have focused on. And they kind of did with Leon for a while, but man, did they do Jill dirty. Did they do Jill fucking dirty. I really hope in, like, these remakes and stuff, like, if they remake RE1, that they, like, give, like, Jill a good bit of focus in her campaign. Because, yeah, she gets some, she's the main character of her campaign in the RE1 remake. So if it gets another remake, you know, she already gets a good bit of focus. But I mean more so showing us, like, her experiencing traumatic stuff a little more. Because in the first game, you get, like, maybe 3 scenes like that. So it kind of, like, undermines just how traumatized she is by the events of RE3 remake. Just a little bit. So I think if they did like another RE1 remake, that would be like number 1 on what I would, I almost said bucket list, but that would be number 1 on my what I want out of an RE1 remake list. That'd be number 1. Number 2 would be to have like the knife mechanics that are in RE2 and RE2 remake, where you can knife enemies while they're down and stuff. Like, yeah, have that back. Maybe you could upgrade it a little bit. Like, maybe have, like, a nice in-between the way it works in RE4 and RE2 remake, you know? Be kind of cool. You never know. Number 2 on what I would want from an RE1 remake, and I know I'm talking over a boss here, but we already fought this guy, so I literally have nothing to say. Sorry, Birkin. Not today, sir. But yeah. Number 2 on what I would want from an RE1 remake would be, excuse me if you heard that, but, would probably be to keep Crimson Heads and Lisa Trevor, and maybe even expand on them a little bit. Like, I kind of think Crimson Heads need a little bit of tweaking to work in the way that the other RE remakes work, because the way, if you notice, between like RE1 remake and RE2 remake, there are a lot more zombies in RE2 remake. So I think if they like designed the game similar to RE2 remake, where there are more zombies around, I think every zombie potentially becoming a Crimson Head would kind of be a bit of a problem, because, you know, you would just have Crimson Heads running everywhere at some point, unless you burn them. And you need to keep, like, the burning them part limited, like in the original. So my idea for this is, like, how they could tackle it. And Capcom, if you're listening and you're planning on doing an RE1 remake, please listen here, because this is actually kind of smart. I think the chances of a zombie becoming a Crimson Head should be random. And, like, maybe, like, you get a little warning a while before they become a Crimson Head, like they start turning red and you can see it. So, like, you could either, like, take your chances and burn the bodies immediately and possibly end up burning the wrong bodies, or you could wait, have less time to burn them, and then, like, but you know which bodies you're burning. You're burning the ones that are coming back as Crimson Heads. They just haven't stood up yet. They got like maybe 10, 15 minutes before they stand up. I also think that the time before becoming a Crimson Head should be like somewhat affected by you being in the general area of the Crimson Head. Like, at least the part where like once they've turned red and they're like waiting to jump back up, you know, like I wouldn't have them randomly like awaken as Crimson Heads until the player has at least seen them in their red form laying on the ground. That way the player has a chance to burn them if they were smart enough to have the lighter on them. You know? Like, I think that would add a little bit of like, I don't know, I just feel like that would add a little bit of skill to it, because you could either like wait and have a limited amount of time to burn them, or you could burn bodies and take chances on burning the wrong ones and not having enough to burn the right ones. Like, I think there's a bit of risk-reward kind of thing going on there. That's just how I think, like, Crimson Heads could really work well in the RE Engine type style remakes. In terms of Lisa Trevor, though, I think really all that needs to be done with her is to just have her AI a little smarter, a little faster. Like, she don't need to be Mr. X levels, or even Nemesis levels, like nothing like that. No, have her be exactly like she is in the RE1 remake, but just she moves a little faster, and she's a little smarter about where she's going, because it's painfully easy to get around her in the RE1 remake sometimes. It kind of really is. I also think she should pop up a little more. Have a little more screen time in the game where she's like chasing after the player. Have her be almost Mr. X level stalker enemy, but she's not around as much as Mr. X, you know? And she's not as efficient as Mr. X. Like, you gotta go in certain sections of the map to find her, to come across her, like in the RE1 remake, but there's more sections she pops up in. And she'll chase the player as long as they enter that section. You know? And please, for fuck's sake, do not make her scripted like Nemesis. Please don't do that. Except for her boss. Her boss can be as scripted as you want, but when she's actively chasing the player, do not make her as scripted as Nemesis in the 3 remake. Please do not do that. Okay, we're going up here now. But yeah, like I said, number 1 would be to keep the Crimson Heads and Lisa Trevor. Number 2 would be expand the knife mechanics from RE2 remake. Maybe like incorporate. I actually was talking to a friend of mine who's like a big fan of RE4. It's the same friend who actually like gave me the money to get RE4. Again, I never asked for that. They just did it. As a good friend. Like, I still appreciate that. I really do still appreciate that. That means a lot to me. But we were talking about this, and I think it'd be interesting if, like, they kind of expanded the RE2 knife mechanics. But, like, maybe when an enemy attacks you, instead of wasting your knife by jabbing it in them, you have a chance to parry. Like, you have a split second where a button prompt shows up, and you parry them and knock them back. Or you counterattack them, whatever you want to call it. Like, whatever, however it could work. And you knock them back. I think that could work. It's still grounded and, like, low-key enough to work with the classic RE style that 2 has, and the RE1 remake would have if it happens. But at the same time, it's a bit of an expansion on what RE2 already did with the knife.
That information's classified.
So yeah. Lady, I do not trust you. I know what happens. I know what happens. I do not trust you. You know, The one thing I've said like a lot of things that I actually prefer about Claire's campaign over Leon's, but the one thing I actually do like in Leon's, I do like Ada. I don't like her gameplay section. I don't know if I've been vocal about that yet, but I think Sherry's gameplay section is better than Ada's by a long shot. For one, it's a lot shorter, so like it doesn't break up the flow of the game as much as Ada's does. For me, Ada's kind of breaks up the flow of Leon's campaign quite a bit because you literally are not even playing the character you're playing the campaign of for like half an hour. Whereas Sherry's is like 10 minutes over, done with. Plus, Sherry's isn't annoying to get through. Ada's is kind of annoying. I don't know. But in terms of like story and how she's used, I do kind of like her. Me liking her here kind of comes after how she was written in the 4 remake and appreciating her there. Because before the 4 remake came out and I experienced that whole game and the Separate Ways DLC, I kind of didn't like her in this game at all. But like 4 remake and the Separate Ways DLC kind of adds like a little like depth to her. Where like going back to this game, I can kind of like appreciate her a little more here because of seeing more of her in the 4 remake. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. And I apologize for talking over cutscenes, but I'll be honest with you. I don't care about most of the cutscenes in Leon's campaign at all. This might be one of the better ones, so yeah, this probably isn't the right cutscene to be saying that over. But I don't know. Outside of the interactions between him and this guy, and him and Ada, there's not really much I care about in Leon's campaign cutscenes, especially in the B scenario, where he isn't even talking to Marvin. Because I'm not going to lie, Marvin kind of carries the early game cutscenes a little bit. For whichever scenario you're playing with for the A scenario. I've already said before, I prefer playing, one of the reasons I prefer playing Claire A is because I like the way her and Marvin talk to each other better than Leon and Marvin. Because Leon and Marvin kind of talk like boss and employee. Whereas like Marvin talks to Claire like he's trying to help her get out safe. Like he cares. Because she's, to him, for the most part, she's just a civilian. She's trained, of course. That's why he's letting her go into like dangerous shit. But you get what I'm saying. But then on the flip side, Claire just listens to Marvin. She's just like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm gonna listen. With Leon and Marvin, it's literally boss and employee. And I won't lie, I just don't like the way Leon's written in most of this game. Which is why I much prefer Claire's campaign, because Claire is written magnificently in this game. And then Leon's just kind of... You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of, and this is like a character type I hate. You know those characters in like games, movies, etc., etc.? It's the character that like gets pissy whenever like people talk down to them and stuff, but then they continue to act immature. Leon almost feels like that in this game. He doesn't quite get there because he's not that immature, but he almost feels like those types of characters. And I know I'm talking about that type of character when I'm literally going to be praising another game I'm going to be doing for Ronange Season 2 really soon, where the main character is literally like that. But the difference in that game is that the main character actually knows, for the most part, what the fuck he's doing. And there's actually more depth to him than, oh, he's just trying to prove himself against people who underestimate him, which honestly can work when the character's good. The character I'm talking about, of course, is Haseo from Hack GU. Volume 1. I've only recorded Volume 1. After seeing the ending of it, though, I think I am going back to the idea of doing, like, Volumes 1 and 2 back-to-back. But I'm not going to start recording Volume 2 until a lot more videos are up, because I got way too many videos that need to be uploaded. Like, you don't understand. This Let's Play itself is supposed to be 14 parts, and we're on part 9. And then after it's up, I have 19 parts of Hack GU Volume 1 to upload, and I have 9 parts of Batman Arkham Asylum to upload. So yeah, I am behind. I won't be recording Hack GU. I'm gonna give it like 3 weeks, maybe a little longer even. Basically, I'm not gonna start recording it until this Let's Play is completed. Or completely ready for uploads at the very least. And I have a few videos for, actually, I might not even record it until, like, at least Arkham Asylum's done, because that's a shorter one. So yeah. That's basically what it is. Okay. I'm actually really tempted to go back to my 20 to 30 minute format videos, because it's actually draining me a lot more to do these longer videos. That's actually why I've been cutting them a lot more than I was before, because I actually don't have the, even like right now when I'm hyper and I'm on coffee and stuff, like I still don't have like the amount of energy it takes to get through 2 of these videos at a time. So like, I'm trying my best here, but I might have to go. I won't do it for longer games like Hack GU Volume 1. Like, that game's 13 hours, 19 parts, as is. So I'll probably stick to longer videos for Let's Plays like that. And Arkham Asylum's already, like, slotted in to be 9 longer parts. So I won't do it with that either. So this is more so speaking, like, after those 2 Let's Plays are done. If I got any Let's Plays that are 10 hours or less, I'm probably going to go back to the 20 to 30 minute time range for those kind of Let's Plays. Especially because I actually don't like how short Arkham Asylum is going to be because of it. Because that game's not really short at all. It's like 10 hours long, just about, maybe 9. But yeah, if you don't know, my standards for like a short game is like less than 6 hours long. If the game is a minimum of 6 hours, then it's long enough. Sometimes even if it's a minimum of 5 hours, if it's got enough replay value, then a game being 4 or 5 hours is even enough sometimes, because I know I'll be replaying it. But it varies. My standards aren't ridiculous like some people are. Like, I mean, this is in part because I almost never pay full price for games. Most of the games I get them when they're on sale. So like, that is in part why I have this mindset. But I also just think the whole, oh, the game's gotta be 1,000 hours long to justify the $60-$70 price tag thing is literally asinine. It's probably one of the dumbest. And I'm sorry for anybody watching this video who thinks games should be long for the price tag. No, games should have substance for the price tag. And a lot of games, I am literally about to get angry right now, because I literally hate playing games that are over 40 hours long. I can't stand it. I've almost never completed any game that's that long, and by the time I get like halfway through the game, I already want to stop playing it. I never finished Horizon Zero Dawn for this very reason. Like, I'm sorry, games that are like way too long, overstay their welcome, and have all this filler in them because of it, literally are ruining like gaming, kind of, because more and more games are becoming like that. Hell, Sonic Frontiers tried to be like that, and it had a lot of filler in it. I mean, it was still a fun game, and it was short enough, but like, you get what I mean. Like, it even affected a 3D fucking platformer game. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sorry, but this like obsession with game length, like with price tag needs to equal game length, is ridiculous. There's more quality to games than length. Like, I would rather buy a 6-hour game with replay value that I love to play Resident Evil 2 Remake over any game that's over 30 hours and has filler content. Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah. Basically, I am using those two as examples. I know Resident Evil 2 Remake is technically longer than 6 hours, but your regular run for someone who isn't as experienced at the game as I am in this game is going to clock you out at about 6 hours. Not on your first run. Your first run will probably be 8 or 9, but a run for the A or B scenario will clock you in at about 6 hours if you're still new to the game and you've completed at least one run. Maybe you might even complete the game in that time on the first run. You never know. But this game, I'm telling you, is better than any century-long game out there. And that's what I'm going to call them, is century-long games. Games that are longer than 40 hours have no place in my game library. I'm telling you that now. 40 hours is the cap, and even that's being generous. The game has to be really good, and I have to be really interested in it for it to justify even that long. I'm telling you. I hate the trend of games needing to be 100 hours long to justify the price tag. I'm telling you. That's so dumb. Like, it's so dumb because it basically acts like replay value doesn't matter. It acts like your enjoyment of the game doesn't matter. It's saying a game could be boring as fuck but be 60 hours long, and it'll be worth more than a game that's fun the whole way through and is 10 hours long. That logic is the dumbest shit ever, and I'm literally not going to hold any punches with that opinion. I'm not going to sugarcoat that opinion, because that is opinion I feel strongly about. It is opinion I will die on a hill for. Because some of the best games I've ever played are between 6 and 12 hours. And those same games are games I would pay full price for, or have paid full price for. But the moment you tell me to pay full price for a game that's 100 hours, I'm going to wait for a price drop. Yep, that's what's happening. If I'm even going to give a game a try, and it's over 35 to 40 hours, like if it's over 40 hours, I'm waiting for a price drop. I'm not wasting my money on a game I almost know for sure I'm never completing. That's just how it is. And before anybody calls me a hypocrite, because like the people who like long games say they'll wait for a price drop when it comes to short games. No, because you know what the difference is. The difference is I've actually given long games a try, and I wait for price drops anyway. It is really rare for me to get a game full price. I've said it before. Like, I think I can count on one hand the games I paid full price for. That's Sonic Frontiers, even Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was on a sale. And that's probably the best game in my whole damn library. Like, the only games I've paid full price for are Sonic Frontiers, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Crash Bandicoot 4. I'm actually blanking right now, because I think that might be it. I think that literally might be it. I got RE Village cheaper. The Winters expansion pack, which is cheaper than the full price game for some reason. Like, I got that $10 cheaper than the main game was originally at. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about this, because this conversation, or not, this topic got me a little too worked up. So I'm gonna take a break after this and get back to the next video. So I'm gonna end it off here. Bye.